My girlfriend said firmly, "I won't choose between you and my ex." I replied, "You do not have to." She relaxed. She smiled even. "Exactly." I continued, "I just made my own choice." Her voice dropped. "What choice?" I didn't answer. I just walked away. I am 29. And I thought I had learned enough about relationships by now to spot the red flags early. Turns out I was wrong. Or maybe I just wanted to believe this one would be different. We met 11 months ago at a friend's birthday party. She was magnetic. That is the only word for it. Confident. Articulate. The kind of person who could make anyone feel like the most interesting person in the room. We talked for hours that night in the corner of a crowded kitchen, ignoring everyone else. We exchanged numbers. We went on our first date 3 days later. Everything moved smoothly. No games, no drama, just two adults who seemed to genuinely enjoy each other as company. It felt easy. It felt right. She told me about her ex on our 4th date. Said they had been together for 4 years. Broke up about 7 months before we met. She described it as amicable, said they had just grown apart, wanted different things. She mentioned they stayed in touch occasionally because they had overlapping friend groups and years of shared history. I respected that. I have stayed friendly with exes before. It seemed mature, healthy even, a sign that she wasn't bitter, but occasionally turned into frequently. And friendly started looking like something else entirely. The first time I noticed something off was about 2 months in. We planned a weekend trip, just the two of us, to this cabin upstate. I had booked it weeks in advance, taken time off work. I had bought groceries. I was genuinely excited to have 48 hours of uninterrupted time with her. The Wednesday before we were supposed to leave, she called me sounding stressed. "Hey, so I have a weird situation." "What is up?" I asked, putting down the bag I was packing. "My ex is going through a really rough time right now. His dad just went into the hospital and he is kind of falling apart. He asked if we could meet up for coffee tomorrow to talk." I paused. "Tomorrow? We are leaving Friday morning." "I know, I just feel bad. He doesn't have a lot of people he can talk to about this stuff. He is really isolated. Cannot he talk to his other friends, his family? He is not close with his family. That is part of why this is hitting him so hard. He really just needs a friend right now." I stood there holding a flannel shirt, feeling a knot form in my stomach. I didn't want to be that guy. The insecure boyfriend who couldn't handle his girlfriend being there for someone in crisis. The jealous guy who dictates who she can see. So I said, "Okay. If he needs you, go." She met him Thursday evening. What was supposed to be an hour of coffee turned into 3 hours. Then 4. She didn't text. She didn't call. I sat in my apartment watching the clock tick past 10 p.m. wondering if our trip was even happening. She apologized profusely when she finally got home. Said he needed more support than she had expected. Said he was in a really bad place. Promised it wouldn't happen again. But it did. It happened again 2 weeks later. Different excuse. Same pattern. He is having trouble at work. He needs advice on his lease. Then again a month after that. Each time she would tell me in advance. She would frame it as transparency. Like the fact that she was informing me made it acceptable. And each time I would swallow my discomfort and tell myself I was being mature about it. I told myself I was being the cool boyfriend. But the texts bothered me more than the meetups. This is what psychologists call an emotional affair. Prioritizing emotional intimacy with someone outside the relationship over your partner. I am not the type to snoop through phones. But when someone's phone is constantly lighting up on the coffee table while you are trying to watch a movie together, you notice. You notice the frequency. You notice the name. His name appeared a lot. She would pick it up, read the message, smile sometimes, a small private smile, type back quickly, put it down face down. When I asked about it once, she said they were just checking in. That it was normal for people who had shared that much life together to stay connected. "We were together for 4 years, she said, defensive. "You do not just stop caring about someone overnight." "I am not asking you to stop caring. I am asking if there is still something there." "There is history. That is different than something being there." "Is it?" I asked. She got defensive. She crossed her arms. Are you saying I cannot have a friendship with someone I used to date? Are you saying men and women cannot be friends? I am saying it doesn't feel like just friendship. That is your insecurity talking, not reality. You need to trust me. And there it was, gaslighting. Flipping the blame to make me question my own perception. Every time I tried to express discomfort, I was insecure. I was jealous. I was being unreasonable. After a while, I started questioning myself. Maybe I was being paranoid. Maybe I was the problem. 3 months ago, things escalated. She went to her friend's wedding. Her ex was in the wedding party. She asked if I wanted to come as her plus one. I said yes. I thought it would be good to meet him finally, to see the dynamic for myself. Then 2 days before the wedding, she awkwardly mentioned that it might be weird. Why would it be weird? I asked. Just because he will be there. And people might ask questions or make assumptions. What kind of assumptions? Just that we are together again. People always thought we would end up back together eventually. Their families are close. It is complicated. And you care what they think. I just do not want drama at someone else's wedding. I do not want to take attention away from the bride. So you want me to stay home? I am not saying that. I am just saying it might be less complicated for everyone. I told her to go alone. I spent that entire Saturday wondering what was happening, checking my phone every 20 minutes for updates that never came, seeing photos on Instagram of the reception, seeing her in a dress I loved smiling. She finally called me at midnight, tipsy, laughing about how beautiful the ceremony was and how much fun the reception had been. She didn't mention him once. Not once. When I asked the next day how it went seeing her ex, she brushed it off. It was fine. We are adults. We can be in the same room without it being a thing. Did you talk to him? Briefly. He is doing well. Started a new job. Seems happy. Something in her voice when she said that last part, seems happy, made my stomach turn. Not sadness exactly, but something adjacent to it. Like maybe she wasn't entirely thrilled that he was moving on. Like she wanted him to still be pining for her. This is triangulation. Shutterstock keeping two people in the picture to validate your own desirability. Last month the real bomb dropped. We were having dinner at her apartment. I had cooked, she had opened a bottle of wine. We were relaxed. It felt like the early days again. Then her phone rang. She looked at the screen and I saw her face change. It went from relaxed to alert. I need to take this. She stepped into her bedroom. I could hear her voice through the door, soft, careful, the tone you use when something matters deeply. She was in there for 15 minutes. My food went cold. When she came back out, she looked shaken, pale. Everything okay? Yeah, just, my ex called. I gathered that. What did he want? She sat down across from me. She wasn't making eye contact. She was picking at the label of the wine bottle. He told me he has been thinking a lot lately, about us, about what we had. I put down my fork. The metal clinked loudly against the plate, and he asked if we could talk, really talk, about whether we gave up too easily. The room felt smaller suddenly. The air felt thin. What did you say? I said I needed time to process it. Time to process what? You are in a relationship with me. I know that. Then what is there to process? You tell him no. You tell him you are seeing someone. You tell him that door is closed. He was a huge part of my life for 4 years. I cannot just dismiss that because it is inconvenient. I am not asking you to dismiss it. I am asking where I stand in all this. She finally looked at me. Her eyes were wet. I do not know. Those 3 words hung in the air like smoke. I do not know. I stood up. I started cleaning up the dishes. I needed something to do with my hands because they were shaking. You do not know where I stand. That is not what I meant. What did you mean? I meant I do not know what I am supposed to do with these feelings. What feelings? The ones I still have for him. And there it was, finally. The truth I had been dancing around for months. The ghost in the room finally spoke. I turned off the water. I dried my hands on a towel. I looked at her directly. You are still in love with him. I didn't say that. You didn't have to. She started crying. It is not that simple. I have feelings for you too. I care about you so much. You are amazing. But I also cannot just erase 4 years of my life and pretend like what we had didn't matter. I have never asked you to erase anything. I have asked you to choose to be here, with me, fully. I am here. Are you? Because it feels like you have been keeping one foot out the door this entire time, just in case he changed his mind. That is not fair, is it? This is known as monkey branching. Shutterstock holding onto one relationship until the next one is secure. I was the safety net. I was the placeholder while she waited to see if her first choice became available again. We fought for another hour, went in circles. She kept saying she needed time. Time to figure out her feelings. Time to see what he wanted to say, that she couldn't just shut off one part of her heart to make me comfortable. Finally exhausted, I asked her directly, "Do you want to be with him?" "I do not know." "Do you want to be with me?" "I do not know." So where does that leave us? Are you asking for a break? Are you asking for permission to explore things with him while I wait here? She wiped her eyes. She looked at me with something like desperation, like she wanted me to solve this for her without her having to make a hard choice. Cannot we just take some time? Cannot I figure this out without losing everything? Figure what out? You either want this relationship or you do not. It is not that black and white. It actually is. She stood up. She crossed her arms. Her voice became firm, defensive. "I won't choose between you and my ex." I looked at her. I realized she meant it. She wanted both. She wanted his history and my stability. She wanted the thrill of the one who got away and the comfort of the one who stayed. I grabbed my jacket from the chair. "You do not have to." She relaxed, slightly misreading my tone. She thought I was giving in. She thought I was accepting the terms. "Exactly. Thank you for understanding. I just need a little space to." I headed toward the door. "I just made my own choice." Her voice dropped immediately. "What choice?" I didn't answer. I opened the door. I walked out. Update 1. The fallout. She called 17 times that night. 17. I let every single one go to voicemail. I drove home in silence. No music, just the sound of the tires on the pavement. I felt sick, but I also felt lighter. The text started around 1 o'clock a.m., frantic and contradictory. "Where did you go? We need to talk about this. You cannot just leave in the middle of a conversation." I didn't mean it how it sounded. "I choose you. I am choosing you right now." I finally responded at 2:30 a.m. I was sitting on my bed staring at the wall. "Me, you didn't choose me when it mattered." "Her, that is not true. I am telling you right now that I want to be with you." "Me, you want to be with me now that I am walking away." "That is not the same thing. That is panic, not love." "Her, you are being unfair." "Me, I am being clear. We are done." "Her, over this." "You are ending a year-long relationship because I needed time to process my feelings." "Me, I am ending it because you told me you won't choose between me and someone else. You made your position clear. Now I am making mine." "Her, I didn't say I wanted him. I said I had feelings to work through." "Me, while you are with me, while I am sitting here invested in building something with you, that is not a relationship. That is me being a placeholder until you figure out if you want him back." She didn't respond after that. I turned off my phone and actually slept better than I had in months. The next morning I woke up to a long email. She had written out her entire emotional journey, explaining how she had been confused, how her ex reaching out had dredged up old feelings she thought she had resolved, how she realized now that she wanted me and not him, that she had just been scared of fully letting go of her past. I read the whole thing. It was well written. It was emotional. It was persuasive. Then I deleted it without responding. Update 2. The silence. A week went by. I blocked her on everything. Social media, messaging apps, email filters, the works. Mutual friends started reaching out. Most of them were confused, said she was devastated, said she was crying at work, asked what happened. I gave them the short version. She couldn't decide between me and her ex, so I made the decision for both of us. Some people got it immediately. "Oh man, yeah, that is a deal breaker." Others tried to play mediator, suggested I was being too harsh, that relationships required compromise and patience. That feelings are complicated. I told them. You are welcome to date someone who needs time to decide if they want you. I am not interested. None of them took me up on it. One friend, someone I had known for years, was brutally honest. I wondered when you would finally wake up. She has been stringing you along since the beginning. Everyone could see it except you. Why didn't you say something? Would you have listened? He was right. I wouldn't have. 2 weeks after the breakup, I heard through the grapevine that she had reached out to her ex, met him for dinner. They were talking things through. I felt vindicated and sick at the same time. Vindicated because I had been right about what was really happening. She did want him. Sick because I had wasted almost a year on someone who was never fully present. Update 3. The grocery store. A month later, I ran into her at the grocery store, completely random. I had been going to a different one specifically to avoid this, but they were out of the coffee I like. She was in the produce section. She looked tired, her hair was messy. She wasn't wearing makeup. Our eyes met. She froze holding a bag of spinach. Then she started walking toward me. Hey, can we talk for a minute? I do not think that is a good idea. Please. Just 5 minutes. I glanced at my cart. I had frozen stuff. 5 minutes. We walked to the seating area near the deli counter, sat across from each other at one of those little tables. It felt surreal. A month ago we were planning a future. Now we were strangers in a grocery store. I made a mistake, she started. Her voice was shaking. Okay. I went to dinner with him. We talked about everything, about trying again, about what went wrong the first time, and I realized halfway through that I didn't want to be there. I waited. I realized all the reasons we broke up were still there. He hasn't changed. He is still selfish. He is still emotionally unavailable. Okay, I wanted to be with you, but by then it was too late because you had blocked me and moved on. I haven't moved on, I said. I have just moved forward. There is a difference. I am sorry. I know I hurt you. I know I was selfish and confused and I handled everything wrong. Yeah, you did. Is there any chance? No, she looked stunned, like she hadn't considered no as a possibility. You won't even consider it. Consider what? Getting back together so you can figure out in another 6 months that you still have unresolved feelings for someone else. So I can spend more time wondering if I am enough. It wouldn't be like that. It would be exactly like that, because the problem wasn't him. The problem was that you kept the door open. And I am not interested in being with someone who needs an exit strategy. That is not what I was doing. That is exactly what you were doing. And now you are here because it didn't work out with him. You gambled. You thought you could explore that option and keep me on the hook. And you lost, but I am not your consolation prize. Her eyes filled with tears. You were never a consolation prize. I loved you. I still love you. Maybe. But you love the idea of him more. And you needed to lose me to figure that out, so now you know. I stood up. She grabbed my hand across the table. Her grip was tight, desperate. Please do not go. I looked at her hand on mine. I felt sad, but I didn't feel the pull anymore. The spell was broken. I pulled away gently. I already did. Weeks ago, you just weren't paying attention. I left her sitting there. I finished my shopping. I went home. I didn't look back. Final update. Moving forward. It has been 3 months since the grocery store conversation. I haven't heard from her since. Mutual friends say she and her ex tried to make it work for about 6 weeks before imploding spectacularly. Apparently all the issues that broke them up the first time were still there, just with fresh resentment layered on top. He blamed her for being needy. She blamed him for being cold. She is single now. I heard she moved to a different part of the city, changed jobs, is doing the whole finding herself thing. Good for her. I mean that sincerely. Maybe she needed to blow up her life to figure out what she actually wanted. As for me, I have been seeing someone new for about a month. It is early, nothing serious yet, but it is easy in a way my last relationship never was. She is straightforward, present, doesn't make me guess where I stand. When her phone rings, she answers it in front of me. When she talks about the future, she says we. When I asked her if she was seeing anyone else, she looked at me like the question itself was absurd. No, why would I be? I am seeing you. That is all I ever wanted. Someone who didn't need a backup plan. I do not hate my ex. I do not wish bad things for her. But I also do not wonder what could have been. Because I know exactly what would have been. More of the same. More wondering. More competing with a ghost. More trying to be enough for someone who wasn't sure if anyone could be enough. Some people need to lose something to realize its value. That is fine. But I am not obligated to still be there when they figure it out. If you think I made the right move by walking away, hit the subscribe button. We talk about self-worth and boundaries here on Story Sparks. Edit. A lot of people are asking if I think she was actually cheating. Honestly, I do not know and I do not care. Emotional cheating, physical cheating, whatever you want to call it, the result is the same. She wasn't fully committed to our relationship. And that is all that matters. Lesson learned. When someone tells you they are confused about you, believe them, and then leave. Thanks for watching.